All right. Shalom, shalom. Let's see. Let's see if that fixed it. Shalom, shalom. All right. Okay. All right. Let's try it again. Let me know if y'all can hear me now. Uh, Technical difficulty there. Audio difficulty. Let me know if y'all can hear me now. We should be up. We should be good. Pressure is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Let's see now. 22 seconds. All right. Y'all hear me? Is the devil that the Bible speaks. All right, there we go. Most High in Christ. There we go. All right, we coming up. Instagram. All right, Most High in Christ. All right. Can you hear me now? Just give y'all a moment to get in there. Nothing is going to stop us from dealing with this evil Mother's Day. Nothing is going to stop us from dealing with this evil, wicked Roe versus Wade unturned. Damn it, we're going to get into it. Nothing is going to stop it. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? Satan try to stop this scripture breakdown class. You understand? But we in here. We in here with good lights, good volume. We going to get it in. You understand? We getting it in. Y'all by Shemal Shah Brakatah. You understand? Hey, Shalom. Just be sure to sign in for attendance. Instagram. Let me know if you can hear me on Instagram. All right. We back. We live. All right. Good. Y'all can hear me on Facebook. Let me know y'all can hear me clear on Facebook. Piece of Judah. Whoever Piece of Judah is. Can you hear me clear on Instagram? All right. Spotify. Let me know if y'all can hear me clear. All right. Just type in. All right. Most High in Christ. Can't hear you on IG or YouTube. They said that you might need to refresh your page because they said they can hear me clear on YouTube. Said they can hear me clear. Instagram, you might need to refresh. All right, young man Alfred, can you hear me clearly? I can hear myself. All right, hear me clear. All right, good. The sound is coming in nice and good. You might need to refresh on YouTube, Piece of Judah. Everybody's saying they can hear me now. It's up and it's clear, all right? I'm going to give y'all a few moments. We for sure going to get back all of that time. We're going all the way in. Contrary to what the earth says and what the church says, the Lord does not want you weak up underneath of your woman. That is how that's how everything fell apart from the very beginning of the Bible. The planet is getting ready to demand that you worship your mother, your grandmother for Mother's Day. You understand? Well, God has a lot against, you understand, these 12 tribes, and it is no cause for celebration on Mother's Day. I assure you, there is no cause for celebration whatsoever with the amount of murderers and kidnappings and robbings and drug dealing. The community is in goddamn shambles, and for sure there is no cause to celebrate. You understand? We will show you how the Lord feels about Mother's Day. I'm without a doubt sure, you understand, that you've been hearing all week from all of the ISUPK classes and all of our radio shows, learning how evil and how wicked Mother's Day is, demanding that you worship your mother. You understand? Demanding that you worship a woman that is evil and against us. You can hear. Okay, Most High in Christ, you can hear me. Shalom, Ana. Yahweh Shemal Atashim Shah. We're going to get it in. Nobody's still in that time. We're going to get all 30 of them minutes back. We're going to deal with this. Hey, Shalom, Ibrahim Shabrakatah. Let me know y'all can hear me on Instagram, all right? All right, Most High in Christ. You look good and strong in there. All right, let's get it on. They try to fight it. The Jezebel tried to rise up in there and cancel the anti-Mother's Day show. You understand? Make sure that you understand very clearly in the ISUPK. You can't. You said, I can't you now. You can or you cannot. Everybody else is saying they can hear me. You might be watching an old broadcast. You might need to refresh, young man Corey. You might need to refresh it, brother. Everybody else is saying I'm good and I'm clear, all right? If you can hear me, just type a 1 on Instagram. If you can hear me, just type a 1, all right? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, Most High in Christ. All right, we getting it on. Hey, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shema Latah Shema Rashad. You understand? The Lord does not, if you are a woman, the Lord does not want you to be worshipped. This evil society worships a woman. It worships an evil and a wicked woman. They put her on a pedestal, which happened from the very beginning of the Bible. That's the first lesson in the Bible. Before Cain murdered Abel, the very first lesson that God wants you to learn in the Bible is that he created everything. He gave a man authority, and then he gave a woman to that man to help him with the assignment that the Lord gave him. That's out the very beginning of the Bible. It's very important to understand. We're going to get into it. All right. We're going to start off. All the smoke coming tonight. Hey, shalom, Mark. All right. The Lord wants us, where we going to start? We're going to go to Genesis. All right. As a matter of fact, we're going to start at Genesis, the very beginning. Nobody understands this book of Genesis outside of the Isupk. The book of Genesis and the book of Revelation are two of the most misunderstood, the most misquoted, the most non-understanding books in the entire Bible. These are the most difficult and complex concepts to understand in all of the Bible, is the beginning and the end. You understand? So let's start off. Let's start off here. Where we going to start? All right. We're going to go. Where we going to start? Hey, shalom, young man. Corey, all right, we got you. Let's see here. We're going to start at verse 2. Let's start at Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. We're going to start at 2 and 1. We're going to skip around a little bit and get to the meat of the story. You understand? So we got Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. Where it starts off. All right, this is the beginning. Everything is in its proper and right place and order, how the Lord wants it. It says Genesis 2 and 1, thus the heavens and the earth were finished. Everything in the heavens is plural because you have more than one heaven. Heavens are plural, or shemayim in the Hebrew. That's why it's important to get in the Hebrew language class every Friday. Do not consider yourself an Israelite coming into the truth. You understand that you do not know Hebrew. You cannot read, write, and speak the Hebrew. You understand? You got a baby needs to know its alphabets. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, days of the week, colors, numbers. I even myself practice my alphabets throughout the week to make sure that you stay sharp. Just like you have to learn your language as a child, you have to practice. It's the same thing in learning the Hebrew as well. You have to practice. All right? Especially if you are an adult trying to learn another language, you got to take this seriously. You'll never understand what's happening in the Bible if you are understanding from a place of English, because the Bible is not written in English or Spanish or French or Portuguese or Dutch or Arabic or any other language that we have from a race of people that put us in slavery and forced us to take their customs. You understand? It's not written in their languages. It's written in our language. And the word heavens is plural. You have the sky where the birds fly. That is one heaven. You got outer space. You understand? Out in outer space. That is heaven. You understand? You got the fourth dimension, the throne room, where the Most High and his angels are that sit around the right hand of the throne. Christ to his right hand, the four beasts around there, the 24 elders around the throne, lightnings and thunders and chair on fire with flaming spinning rims, the angels of evil and the angels of good that you know as demons. They're sitting in the throne room of heaven getting order, instruction, and counseling from the Most High, making all the decisions about life that happens on earth. Well, this is from the very beginning. It says everything that is alive was finished in Genesis 2 and 1. In verse 2, it says, on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work, which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had made. And he blessed the seventh day. He named it the Sabbath. That 7th day has always been Friday or Saturday. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, the day of Saturday is the Sabbath day. You understand? The Lord separated day and night. You understand? The night and the day are supposed to be different. We are under an evil oppressor who makes the night and the day all one thing so that he can enslave you as much as possible and work you for a 24-hour period to keep you away from your family, away from your communities, away from being a free man, not serving him and his empire. That's what we fighting for in the Isupk and building our own nation, just as Christ instructed, just as the Lord instructed Moses when we were in Egypt. Same thing, all right? So now the Lord rests from his work, all right? So when it says here, we're going to skip down to verse 6, all right? As a matter of fact, we're going to skip to verse 7. So now we have Genesis chapter 7. And in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7, it says, "And the Most High Power, or Lord God, formed man of the dust of the ground." When it say he formed man of the dust of the ground, this is not him creating man. All of his works were already finished. This is the Sabbath day. So he is not creating Adam. Adam is already alive. That was done on the 6th day. All of that was already done. Everything is alive. Everything is created. When it says he formed Adam out of the dust of the ground, he formed Adam out of a lowered state of mind, meaning he gave him the breath of life. He gave him the laws, statutes, and commandments so that he can put things in their order. He can take dominion. He knows where to put what animals, how to do this, how to work the land, where to set things in order. He gave Adam a language to speak, which is the Lashawan Kodash, or the ancient Hebrew language, that language that we read, write, speak, and teach, which was the first language on the planet. That language is what we teach every Fridays on the Hebrew language class, and what we go over in the Sabbath service and on our high holy days. He gave that to Adam to put the earth in order. That's where all languages come from, until the Lord made different languages after the flood in Genesis the 11th chapter at the Tower of Babel, so that all people could no longer communicate together. God did that. All right. So now we at verse 7, "And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." He gave Adam direction. He gave him power and authority, which we get ready to read. All right. "And out of the garden, every tree grew out of the garden." Okay. So like in verse 8, "And the Most High Power planted a garden eastward in Eden." That is where all life starts. It starts from the east. Today it is called the Middle East. It's called the middle. It's in the middle of the eastern part of the entire planet. That's why it says he planted a garden in the east. That garden is not that tiny little piece of land that you see today that's called Israel. That garden is the Middle East. You understand? The land of Israel, as described by the rivers mentioned in Genesis, the 1st chapter, goes all throughout about 7 or 8 different countries today. So as far as Iran and Afghanistan, through Iraq, through Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Yemen, all of that area, all of that land, that Middle East is the Garden of Eden. Of course, the Lord completely changed it because we disobeyed him, which is what we're getting ready to read, which comes into the lesson for what we are learning today. All right. It said the Most High Power planted a garden eastward in Eden. The garden is not how you think. Like you have a little old lady, she got some roses, she got some tulips, she got some beautiful flowers. What's those blue flowers everybody loves? What's that flower? They try to make all the women scent with that damn flower. What's that called, Uraj? What's that purple flower? That purple flower they got everywhere. What's it called?
So like I said, I'm not sure. It sounds like what, lavender.
Yeah, I know you know. The sister in Baltimore. What's that flower? That purple flower that they make everything. Well, anyway, if we think of it come lavender. That's what it is. That lavender plant, all that purple and everywhere. That's not what a garden is compared to what it is in the Bible. Exactly. Sister Shakar got it. Lavender. Exactly. You understand? Well, that's not a garden, what the Bible is talking about. Adam and Eve did not live in your grandma's rose garden, running around naked in a damn rose garden. That is not what the Bible is talking about. The garden, the Lord equates it to a garden because it's filled with lush. Everything grew in there. It was filled with life. It had springs. It's not talking about that tiny little, there you go. All the sisters know now. Lavender. Y'all know. You understand? It's not talking about a garden because it's got 4 rivers and lakes that span the length of this garden. That's how you know it's not talking about your mama's rose garden or Big Mama's garden with all the purple and the yellow flowers with all the bumblebees everywhere that you used to see when you were a kid. That's not what it's talking about. This is a gigantic landmass that the Lord created. This is where civilization started. You understand? In the east, where the Lord planted the garden. There were already people everywhere. The earth is filled with people. Adam and Eve are not the only 2 people on the planet. That's another lie that the Christian church teaches. That's not true. The earth was filled with people. All mankind was made at the same time. There's just this one man is important to the Lord. And that's what you want. Damn right. The sister on here got it. Piece of Judah, you got it. Lavender or brothers. So, all right. Now, when he's saying, where we at? Verse 7. He got the breath of life. There's a garden. And there he put the man who he had formed. He put Adam in this most precious piece of land on the entire planet. All right. And now it's explaining. And out of the mist and out of the ground, the Most High Power, Salakia, made the Most High Power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also is in the midst of the garden. And the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, meaning in the middle of this garden, there's a tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. These trees are not a tree like you would get apples and strawberries. How do we know this? Because it's got a comma. Remember, every time you see punctuation in the Bible, that's important. It's got a comma there. So we're going to go back to verse 9. Little details. All of these things are important when you read the Bible that the Christian church has told us to ignore all of our lives. All right? So when it says, out of the ground made the Most High Power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight. That's one type of tree. And good for food. You got a different type of tree. Some trees are beautiful to look at, but you can't get any food out of them. So now, then you have another symbol, a punctuation mark. The tree of life also. Remember, every time you see the words if, and, but, also, these things are very important because they're showing a contrast between whatever came before and whatever's going to come after. So now we're not talking about just looking at trees and just getting trees that they have food, like apples and strawberries and lemon and peaches and pears. We're not talking about that anymore. All right? Let me know if y'all noticed that symbol when you're looking in there. I believe it's a semicolon. You should see that symbol. He's going to describe something else. Y'all let me know if y'all see and y'all notice what exactly I'm talking about that I'm talking about right now. Y'all see it? Just type in if y'all see it. All right. All right. We're going to keep moving. We had a little setback at the beginning. We're going to keep moving. So after that, the tree of life also is in the midst of the garden, meaning this garden is a huge landmass. And the knowledge of good and evil is in that landmass. These trees are talking about family trees. You understand? Not the trees you're getting food and not the trees that are just pretty to look at. It's talking about a different type of tree. That's why there's a semicolon there. You understand? You're right. See if we can get the definition for semicolon. This is going to be a long class tonight, so y'all go ahead and get you some coffee. We're going to be in here for a while. You're going to do a lot of learning. Take y'all notes and everything. Let's get semicolon. See what Webster's dictionary says about a semicolon. We can see why that's written there. You got it, brother?
Comic-Con, sir. Semicolon.
Go ahead,
a punctuation mark used chiefly in a concording function between major sentence elements, such as independent clauses of a compound sentence.
Independent clauses of a compound statement. You understand? These trees are independent clauses from the tree that's good to look at and the tree that's good for food. Semicolon. An independent statement. Now you got different types of trees. We're not talking about food or trees to look at anymore. Now we're talking about family trees. All right? So when it says, all of this is important and very relevant to get in the book of Genesis. You would have never known this without coming into these classes. The tree of life, the knowledge of that tree is also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil is also there. You understand? Where do those trees get that knowledge from? There's a man that the Lord gave that knowledge, the breath of life to. He gave it to Adam. And there's a man also that has the knowledge of good and evil. You understand? Now we're going to keep reading. We're going to keep learning. That man is very important to see. First, Adam and Eve are not the only people on the planet. The earth is filled with places. It's filled with people. The garden is not one little garden. It's a huge landmass. You understand? And there's a lot of things that's going on that's being introduced. All right? So now where we are. And now it's talking about the rivers. Verse 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden. And from thence it was parted and became 4 heads. This again shows you that we're not talking about your grandma's garden in the backyard. An entire river is coming from this place. That's how you know it's not talking about grandma's backyard. This is a gigantic landmass that is so huge, it turns into 4 separate bodies of water. All right? Everybody seeing this, just let me know if you follow me what I'm saying, all right? Y'all just give me a warning. It'd be easy if you let me know, all right? We're going to keep moving. So, it says it became 4 heads. The first was the name of Pison, will compass a whole land where there's gold, and then it's going to name all the things. One goes through all the land of Ethiopia and Eden. There's huge land masses because you got a huge body of water to keep this garden fresh and alive. At one point in time, the Middle East was like that. What you are going to see is the Lord is going to take this beautiful place that is filled with so much life, so much fresh, verdant, green energy, with all of these growing fruits that you don't have to worry about weeds and all of this, because the man does not have to till the work of the garden by the sweat of his brow, which we're going to get to as a punishment by him falling weak once we get further into the story. Mind you, this is the book of Genesis, the first lessons in the Bible that the Lord wants us to learn. So let's keep going. All right. Then he said, where we at? 14, 15. Yarash, give me, go ahead and read from verse 15, Bumker Shaw.
Kind of a guy, sir. And the Most High Power took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
He took the man and put him in this wonderful, beautiful place so that the man could maintain it, could take care of it. You understand? If you ever familiar with a garden is filled with life. But if you don't cut this, if you don't trim those vines, that vine where you get those grapes and those cucumbers, that vine will take over and it'll be vines everywhere. Everything else will die because that vine will choke the life out of everything if there is not someone there who's maintaining it. If you don't cultivate those string beans the proper way, then those string beans will just grow everywhere, all on the ground. If you don't make sure you put things in a proper place, in a proper order, the fruits and vegetables will take over and you won't have a garden that's well kept and maintained. You will now have a forest filled with chaos and wild animals, and you won't know where anything is, full of thorns and thistles and vines, and eventually things will die. That's why the Lord put a man to keep that most precious territory that he set aside for this special man that he gave this knowledge of the breath of life to. All right, so keep going.
Verse 16. And the Most High Power commanded the man, say, Of
These
every
were
tree of the garden,
instructions. Go ahead.
of every tree of the garden, thou mayest freely eat.
He gave
Verse,
orders, commandments, instructions. Every tree that's in the garden, you were able to eat freely. You understand? Now he's going to get some restrictions on this. Keep going.
verse 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it.
The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You understand? This is one of the most lied on scriptures of the entire Bible. Next to John 3:16 is what happened in this Garden of Eden of the tree. Adam and Eve. How many people heard about the apple that Adam ate in the Garden of Eden? Just type in, let me know if you've heard about the apple. Adam ate the apple, and the apple core got stuck in Adam's throat, and that's why men have an Adam's apple. Who has ever heard of any of these things before? Just type in, let me know if y'all heard of them. All right? Just you keep going, Urash.
Sir. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
He said, in the day that you eat of what? What did he say you would die if you eat of something? What did he say?
Thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Thou shalt surely die. What is the knowledge of good and evil? What does that mean? One of the most complex concepts throughout the entire Bible. What does that mean? You heard it. See, the sister in Baltimore heard it. Shakar heard it. Anna heard it. Nowhere in that Bible does it say anything about an apple. Did anybody read the word apple anywhere? Think of all your life as a Christian and everyone else who's heard Christian fairy tales about the Bible. Nowhere in the Bible does it say anything about an apple. Yet and still, your entire childhood, teenagehood, adolescence, and adult life, you have had in your mind this fairy tale about the Bible, about some damn apple that is nowhere in the scriptures. You understand? This is how evil the Christian church is. Keep going. No, hold on. Don't keep going. Who knows what the knowledge of good and evil is? It's a metaphor. It's not something very simple to understand. I'm sure you know, Urash. Exactly, sister. Wow, you damn right. Your entire life, everyone who swears that they know God, they know Bible, they know Jesus, that God talks to them directly, all of the old ladies and ushers and preachers that you've heard your whole life that you swore that God were this close. Everybody has quoted that apple from the Garden of Eden. And the apple is nowhere in the scriptures whatsoever. Nowhere in there. The fruit or the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's not even the customs of the other. Okay, you getting on it. You getting on it, young man. Alfred said the customs of the other nations. You getting on it. The customs of the other nations, that's not evil. I mean, their customs are evil in their vein, but they're heathens. They can do that because they're heathens. But now, I'll give a prime example. The knowledge of good and evil, so no fruit was eaten. No, sister, there was no fruit at all. It's a metaphor, like food for thought. The truth and in the world, that's correct. Food for thought is the metaphor. You ever heard, or food for the soul, or chicken soup for the soul, or food for thought? Those things are like metaphors. It's not literal fruit. You understand? The knowledge of the fruit of the tree of good and evil is what comes from learning some knowledge. I'll give a prime example. You understand? Let's see. God has laws in the Bible. Give me some laws. What are some laws that y'all know of in the Bible? Give me just a couple real quick. What are some laws that y'all know about? You understand? Just give me a few of them. Just type in real quick. What y'all got? Anybody want to give it a shot? Yaraj, you give it a shot too. What you got?
Honorable Khan, sir, if I could. Thou shalt not murder.
Thou shalt not murder. All right. Thou shalt not murder. No worshiping other gods. Don't eat pork. Don't murder. All right. Not worshiping other gods. Okay, the water. All right. Those are good. Those dietary laws. Good job, sister. Good job. Good job. All right. So let's just use one, the dietary laws. The knowledge of, you got two trees, or you got schools of thought or education. You got the knowledge of the tree of life, and then you got the knowledge of good and evil. These are metaphors. They're not literal trees. There's no literal tree that if you eat this fruit, you live forever. There's no literal tree that if you eat this fruit, you die. These are schools of thought or education, things that you learn, that are taught to you. Hey, shalom, sister Marilyn. Y'all, Shemala thought she might shot. All right, Most High in Christ, just make sure you get all those names for attendance. Officer Krishad, Most High in Christ. All right, come. Now, you would never have to know. All your life, you know, God gave these laws. I can't eat pork. I can't eat shrimp. I can't eat crab. That's all you know. That's the knowledge of the tree of life. These are the instructions that the Lord gave Adam, the breath of life. This knowledge. Now, all you know is you cannot eat shrimp. You can't eat crab. Now, the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. Now that you've eaten crabs, now your bones get brittle, which is what shellfish does to your bones. Now that you've eaten crab and lobster, now you have a desire to eat crab and lobster. Now you have digestive tract issues. Now your bones become brittle. You get gout from your feet swelling up. Can't process those things. Your digestive tract stops working properly because it's filled with pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, things that the Lord said don't eat. I'll give you a big one. Do not commit adultery. Damn right, Anna. Don't commit adultery. All you would know is sex is marriage. And you cannot have sex with a woman that was someone else's wife. And if you were a woman, you were not allowed to have sex with another man that is not your husband. Iodine, poisonous, seafood allergies, correct. Now, that law, all you would know is the knowledge of life, which is obeying the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. Now that you would have broken the law on adultery, now you know what it's like to now you raise kids by yourself because you hoard on your husband, and now that relationship is over. Now you are stuck with a different man who's also going to leave you. Now that we have broken God's laws on marriage, now you get to raise children by yourself. Now comes the herpes and all of the STDs from breaking God's laws on sex. Now the law says this is the knowledge of good. You don't ever have to learn about the evil because you are not breaking the law. You understand? Murder. You don't have to learn about the consequences of breaking the law, which is the knowledge of good and evil. All you know before, if I don't worship another nation's God, the Most High will be close to us. Now, when you worship the God of the Arabs or the God of our oppressor, now your community is gone. They own your community. Now you work for them and they take your children away. You pay them rent. You pay taxes to them. You pay for water. You pay for the power that comes from the sun. They charge you for everything. They take your sons and put them in prison. They murder your fathers. You understand? Now we know the knowledge of good, which is what the Lord told us, and evil, which is the punishment for disobeying the Most High. The Lord gave us a law, you understand? An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. Proverbs 16:27. Before, all you would know is that we cannot smoke. That's against our custom. Now that you've smoked a cigarette or that you've smoked weed, now you know what it's like to be addicted to weed, addicted to crack cocaine, addicted to Newports, Now that demon that you've opened the door, you now have the knowledge of the good, which is what the Lord said, and the evil, which is the punishment for disobeying the Lord. God said, don't murder, you don't murder. You don't have to deal with the punishment of serving a life sentence in prison, separate from your family and society, because you have murdered now. Now you know the knowledge of good and you know evil. When before, the only thing that you would know is just obey the Lord, and this is life. You see what I'm saying? This is what that is talking about in the Bible. It's never talking about eating an apple that got stuck in Adam's throat. Christianity made that nonsense up. None of that is in the Bible. Don't covet your neighbor. That's correct. Don't covet your neighbor. Don't try to devise a way to steal your neighbor's car or break in your neighbor's house to try to steal his TV. All you would know is don't covet your neighbor's goods. And then one day you would go now and devise a way to break in your neighbor's house to steal his TV, except this time he catches you breaking in his living room and you're in there and he puts buckshots in your chest and you bleed out and die in his living room. Now you have the knowledge of the good, which is what you're supposed to do and not do. Now you know the other side. You have the knowledge of good and evil. You know what that crack addiction is like now. You know what it's like to fiend for a cigarette. You know what that the consequences of having sex with another brother's woman is. You understand? You know from leaving your man, now you stuck with sons and daughters that you cannot raise. You know from having sex with a whore that she now puts you on child support and takes all of your money and your kids so that her and another man can split your child support money. You understand? You now know the knowledge of good and evil. That's what it's talking about. It has nothing to do with eating a damn apple or some strange magical fruit. You understand? Exactly. It's just knowledge. That's what it is. All right? So keep going. Uh, 18.
And the Most High Power said, it is not good that the man should be alone.
The Lord said it's not good that man be alone. I don't want him doing all this work and stuff by himself. It's not good that Adam be alone. I done gave him a lot of responsibilities. I'm going to do something now. Keep going.
I will make him an helpmeet for him.
I will do what?
I will make him an helpmeet for him.
Make who?
An helpmeet.
Make who a helpmeet?
I will make him an helpmeet for him.
Here we have the introduction to you as a woman. From the very beginning, here is your introduction to the story. God is going to make someone so that Adam can have help. From the very beginning, that is why the Lord made you a woman. Your job as a woman, as a godly woman, which we went over last week in Titus, the 2nd chapter, from the very beginning has always been to be help to your man, the Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. That is why you were created, to help him. You understand? Not to be on your own, not to do your own thing, not to be traveling all across the goddamn planet like Brittany Griner over in Russia, and then damn international World War III breaks out between Russia and Ukraine, and now you gone missing in some Russian prison somewhere, off being in the damn WNBA that was created to have gender equality, a rivalry between men playing basketball in sports and women playing basketball in sports. Now, however you feel personally about sports, it's not a sin to have women's basketball and football and all of that. It's not a sin for women to have it if men have it. But why was it created? You understand? There was a reason they created it. That's why she's in Russia playing, because she cannot make any money as a woman playing basketball to earn a decent living, because nobody wants to go and see women do 1,000 layups playing basketball. You understand? If she understood the purpose why the Lord made a woman, she would not be sent all the way across the world playing basketball with all of this damn freedom that the Lord never intended for a woman to have. There's more freedom than the Lord wanted a man or a woman to have. But for sure, this is why the Lord created a woman. Read that line again. Baba Kashaw.
Kanawakan, sir. I will make him an helpmeet for him.
I'm going to make him someone to help him for him. That's why you exist. You understand? All of this nonsense and notion about I don't need a man, I'm separate from a man, independent from a man. The Christian church worked with the United States government to destabilize the Negro population, our economy, our family, our communities, our households, our neighborhoods. That's what the FBI was created for. That's what crack cocaine and heroin were created for. That's what the mandatory minimums that they passed, that 95 crime bill with Clinton and Biden and Kamala Harris. You understand? It was all created to destabilize you. And the Christian preachers went hand in hand. It could have never worked without the Christian preachers teaching you to go and be more American, which is joining another nation of people, which is against God's laws, statutes, and commandments. We're going to go through all of it tonight. We're going to be in here for a while, y'all. All right? Keep going.
Verse 19. And out of the ground the Most High Power formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air.
Uh-huh.
Sir.
Every beast of the field, every fowl of the earth. Those are the animals that walk on the ground. Those are everything that flies in the sky. That's a fowl, F-O-U-L. That's describing a bird. If you're not familiar with what that means or what that's talking about. All right?
Keep going. Brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them.
And he brought them to Adam. Adam named all of the animals. All of them were brought to him so that he can give them a name. The bird, the cattle. If you go into the Lashawan Kodash, you'll get that all of our alphabets, they have a symbol attached to them. There's a symbol, there's an actual character or an animal or a symbol that they represent. Ladders, gates, various animals, an eye, a head, and that is attached to the alphabet. So not only in our language does your name mean something, but each alphabet in your name tells a story. You understand? Like something means this. It has, each alphabet has a meaning or a symbol, and the word itself means something. You understand? It's very complex. This was the first language that the Lord created. Adam named everyone. Adam needed help, needed a secretary. Just like, you understand, any good company or business needs a secretary. Well, the Lord made you to be a helpmeet and a secretary for the black man, for the Hispanic Native American man. You understand? That is your life's purpose. That's why God made you. Keep going.
And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof.
All right.
Verse 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found an helpmeet for him.
Adam is doing all of this work. Adam needs some help. The Lord looking out at his son doing all this work. He said, wait a minute, I need to get my son some help. He said, it's not good. I got him out here by himself. Let me get him some help. Adam was not the only man on the planet. You understand? And that's important for you to know, because the next verse is going to get you to some more lies that you've been taught your whole life by the Christian church. Keep going.
Verse 21. And the Most High Power caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept.
When it says the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, this does not mean that Adam passed out like he was under anesthesia. That is not what that means, because this is what the Christian church has taught you your entire life, which is wrong. Keep going.
And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Okay, let's break this down. He took one of his ribs. All right. When it says he caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, meaning Adam did not realize what was going on. That's all it means. Adam was not unconscious. Adam was not in a surgery. Adam was not under anesthesia. That is not what happened. That is what the Christian church teaches. That is not what happened. You understand? Adam was unaware of what was going on. The Lord had provided him a member of his family. You understand? Some distant relative of his family, and he took and brought a wife of his people, his family line. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are in this class because we are of the same family line. If we go back our lineage and our roots, we all come from Jacob's 12 sons, and from Isaac, and from Abraham, and from his fathers up to the lineage of Noah, and from Noah's lineage before the flood up until Adam. You understand? We are all of the same family line. That's where the term flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, my flesh and blood, that means that we are the same. That's why it says it took a rib, you understand, of Adam. This is of his family line, of his flesh. That's why it said closed up the flesh thereof, meaning from here forward, he's not going to take any more of his own relatives, you understand, to have wives. Now he's going to start his own family so that his lineage that the Lord chose can grow now. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 22. And the rib which the Most High Power had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man.
Meaning the Lord took the rib from Adam. That's why we call a wife a rib. It is slain. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. This is my rib. My rib is my wife. You understand? If you're new to the Isupk or our classes, the word rib means wife. You understand? This is where it comes from. Just like everything else that we do and say in the Isupk, it all comes from the Bible. This is why we say it. Here it is right here. All right? And he brought her to the man. Keep going.
Verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
That means that she is of my lineage, my family line. Some of the males of my families had daughters, and those daughters, this is one of their daughters. This is my family lineage. This is not children from the other people outside of the garden. And again, the garden is not one place. It is a huge landmass, which today, you understand, are many different countries. All right? So keep going.
Kind of, sir. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man.
She was taken out of man. She's called woman. Adam is naming everything. This is what Adam called it. These accounts and records the Lord is giving to Moses when he is in the wilderness 40 days. Adam is writing the accounts of everything that happened because the angel is telling him when he's speaking with the Lord in the wilderness at the burning bush, those 40 days after he murdered the Egyptian, then before he comes back to tell Pharaoh to let my people go. These first 5 books are the accounts of what was given to Moses by the Most High and the men that wrote it down. All right. So I just want to touch on something else here. As a matter of fact, keep going. Give me 24 and 25 real quick.
24. There shall be a man. It's like, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
A man is going to leave his mother and father and cleave unto his wife. You're no longer going to have that tie to mommy. You would look to your mother to help you with things and this and that. Now you're going to start your own family. A man is going to leave his family. The woman is going to leave her family. That mother is not dictating what's going on in that marriage. Mommy is not controlling that marriage, which gets us to the topics we'll be dealing with. You understand? You are having a new family with that man and his woman. That two become one flesh. That is sex. Sex makes two one flesh. You understand? You come together. You are now one flesh. That is what marriage is. Sex is marriage according to the Bible. It It has always been marriage. And prior to us integrating, we always considered sex marriage because this is the heritage that the Lord gave us. It wasn't until we learned the knowledge of good and evil from the other nations of people that sex is not marriage that we started to have unlawful sex that the Lord told us not to. Like men having sex with another brother's woman, like homosexuality and lesbianism, having sex with animals, all kind of nonsense and things going on because we learned the customs of other nations, which the Lord forbid us from doing. All right? Give me verse 25.
And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
They were both naked, the man and his wife. This naked is not the naked that the Christian church has taught you your entire life. That is not this naked. You understand? This naked, you understand, is talking about they were not covered with the coverings of the world. They didn't have the covering of knowing all of the customs of the people that were around about the garden. They didn't know about Ramadan. They didn't know that they were supposed to celebrate Christmas because they were not. They didn't know about getting Christmas trees and buying Christmas presents. They didn't know about homosexuality and not calling a man and saying that men shouldn't wear pink or dresses or purses because it offends the LGBT community. They were naked to that. They didn't know anything about it. A man is supposed to be rough and masculine and have a beard and go and have sex with women and make wives and children and family. They didn't know about divorce. They didn't know about leaving your man. Eve didn't know about being a whore, diva, boss lady, hot girl, summer. I can get all the men I want. Don't no man tell me what to do. She didn't know that. She was naked to the ways of the world, to the beast of the field, the other nations that were around the garden. She did not know those customs. They didn't know how to roll up a blunt. They didn't know the difference between Newport soft pack and hard pack. They didn't know how much Coke is in an 8-ball. They didn't know about Mother's Day and Father's Day. They didn't know about any of that. They didn't know about AIDS or herpes or gonorrhea. They didn't have none of that because all we had was the breath of life and the knowledge of obeying the Most High, which is what we did. Now, that's the very beginning. See how long this lasts, Yarash. Now we're going to go to chapter 3. How long does this last? The Lord, Adam is working. He tilling the garden. He naming all the animals. The first lesson that the Lord gives in the Bible is in the 3rd chapter of Genesis. You understand? You understand? It was all good just a week ago. Now, I'm going to read chapter 3. I'm going to read chapter 3. You understand, Yarash? Now we getting into it. Last week we were good. We were in the Garden of Eden. Our sons and daughters were straight. We have no rent. We have no taxes. The freshest water. Got a fresh water source coming right from the garden. All the fresh fruit, all the fruits, everything we need, naming the animals. You understand? Got the Sabbath day. That's all you got to do. Life is just heaven. The Garden of Eden. We live in it. Perfect. You just got married. You got your rib now. And here we are. All right. Everybody take notice. Understand? Genesis 3:1. Now, the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. You can go to Jeremiah chapter 12:9 and get the precept for the beast of the field. The beast of the field are talking about the other nations of people. Contrary to what the Christian church has taught us our entire lives, this serpent is not talking about a snake. It is not an anaconda. It's not a python. It's not a viper. It's not a boa constrictor. It's not a mamba. This serpent is talking about a man. You understand? There was a man that is more subtle than the beast of the field. This is the spirit of our oppressor, who is the devil, the deceiver that the Bible speaks of. In Revelation, he's called that old serpent, referring to this here in the garden. A serpent, why is it a serpent? Because he has a very low down and dirty character. You understand? Just like if it's in slang. So if I said, Ricky is a snake. Ricky told me he'd be here at 3 o'clock. Ricky did not show up. Ricky is a snake. I seen Ricky trying to talk to my rib last week. Ricky is a snake. Ricky broke in what's the name's car and stole his radio. Everybody knows that Ricky is a snake because of what he does. Well, this man, this serpent, is known as the serpent because of what he does, his character. Out of all of the other nations, all of the beasts of the field who are not important, there is one that is more subtle than all the rest. And this is the spirit of the so-called white man. You understand? Of course, you don't get your first red man in the earth because the so-called white man is red, not white. He's just known as a white man because he does not have color or pigmentation, that the Lord cursed Cain when he took it away from him, so that everyone will know that this man is an evil murderer on the earth, that you can see the blood through his skin. You understand? So now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Most High Power had made. And he said unto the woman, why is the serpent going to the woman? Because the woman is the weaker vessel, and he knows it. That's the same reason that the Christian preacher goes to your woman. That's why church is filled with mommies and aunties and abuelas and tias, is filled with women and children. The same reason that the serpent went to Eve and did not go to Adam. Because he knows that it's easier to game a woman up, which is all that church does. With the flowers, the pretty colors, the pretty seats, the soft carpet, the music, the dim lights, the smell, all the singing. It's just like a child. That's why when you go to kindergarten, there's a bunch of songs. Everybody can sing along. Everybody can dance. You got nap time. They get to rock you to sleep. They teach you a bunch of phrases. Cat in a hat, boot and scoot, see spot, run fast. All of those silly things in quotes, which is exactly what the Christian church does. I'll give you a prime example. Give it to God. To God be the glory. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Long as I got Jesus, all of those silly quotes, Jesus take the wheel, all of those silly quotes and things is just like what kindergarten teachers and preschool teachers teach children. Just like the apple from the Garden of Eden that does not exist in the Bible, those are more silly quotes and things that children get taught, which is what the Christian church does. Teaches a bunch of lies and fairy tales like the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and women getting pregnant without having sex, the Immaculate Conception, all kind of fairy tale nonsense. Like you're going to die and go to heaven or die and go to hell where you'll burn forever. None of that is in the Bible. But this is what they teach. And the serpent knew that this woman would fall for it and Adam would not. And that's something that you want to learn about, that the Lord wanted to be taught from the very beginning of the Bible about the woman. You understand? And the beast said, and he said unto the woman, yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? He already knew the instructions that she was given. He was devising a way on a come up. He was devising a way to separate that woman from the authority that the man that God gave her to had over her, where everything was in order, but she didn't have to go out and work a job and get a second job, but she wasn't going to be raising kids by herself. She wasn't going to be in the ghetto. She wasn't going to have to rely on 911 or welfare or TANF or the unemployment agency or a boss or putting together a resume or using what she got to get what she want. She didn't have to worry about none of that. But the serpent told her something that caught her attention because she was naive and simple. You understand? So it said, we may, and the woman said unto the serpent, now she talking to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of all the trees of the garden. Said we can eat of all the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, mind you, this is not talking about literal trees. It's not talking about apples and peaches and strawberries, mangoes. The Most High said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Don't touch the other nation's culture. Don't touch their ways, their lifestyles, because when you do, you are going to die. You understand? Our oppressor's woman can be Marilyn Monroe. Her lifestyle is going to flourish at Playboy. Her lifestyle is going to flourish at her being a pinup girl and a nude model and being a whore and working out of brothels and strip clubs. Her life is going to function and flourish in that way of living. When you go to be a stripper and live and work in brothels, you're going to deal with all the kidnapping and the drug overdoses and getting murdered, and all now the children are getting involved. And now you're going to be missing all across America. Have you seen me? Have you seen me? Last time I was wearing this. This is the knowledge of the evil that the Lord told us never to do when all we knew was good. Now we're going to get some more. Now she's explaining to the serpent what the order was. How does she know what the order was? Because her husband taught her. He gave her strict instructions. Eve, do not do this. Or kaya, we're not going to do this. That's Eve in Hebrew is kaya. It means to be alive, to be full of life, to be lively. You understand? That's why he named her kaya. That's what Eve means. Eve is in English. Kaya is in Hebrew. So he's saying, kaya, you cannot do this. The Lord said, we cannot do this. We can't do this. This is our customs. This is what we do. This is what the Most High said. This is life. Now here comes someone else to teach her another way of life. You understand? And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. You ain't going to die. You're not going to die. For God knoweth, for the Most High, for God doth know, that in the day ye eat thereof, and what I'm going to teach you, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Who knows what a female god is called? Who knows what a female god is called? I'm going to give it a shot real quick. What's a female god called? Y'all type in, what is a female god? Give me some names. What's a female god? Or an idol that is worshipped as a female god. What's it called? Okay, we at 828. I'm going to have to give it to you for time's sake. A female god, this is... Okay, I'll take goddess. Goddess. He said, yeah, you're going to be a goddess. What is going to make you a goddess? You're a wife. You're helping your husband. You got everything. You in the Garden of Eden. All you know is this life of paradise, and he tells you there's something better. The grass is greener on the other side. Go ahead, Urash. What are you going to say?
Is it diva?
A diva. There you go. There you go. That's that word. A diva. Said you can be a savage. You ain't got to be no wife. Be a savage. All that tail you got, girl, listen. You got to let that thing show. You got to show off your body. You're going to be a goddess. We're going to put you in lights. You're going to be on the stage. You're going to be in big lights. They're going to be chanting your name. You're going to be Beyonce. You're going to be Megan Thee Stallion and Rihanna. All you got to do, I'm going to teach you some knowledge. That man trying to tell you what to do, he trying to control you. Don't nobody control you. You the star. You the goddess. You the diva. You the boss lady. You run all of this. You should be in charge. Like you don't know what to do. Why can't you be in charge? They got an MBA. Why can't you have an MBA? Trying to tell you what to do. He don't own you. He don't own your body. You should own your own body. Don't no man tell you how to wear. Show that body, girl. No man tell you when to cover your head, what to say. Say whatever you want. You grown. Your body, your choice. Talking about you can only have sex with him. Listen, it's hot girl summer. You got to have no man tell you what to do. Here, try these on. Wear this. I tell you what, I guarantee you go out there, show that tail. I bet you'll get all the attention you never got before. I bet you think that's the only man? Who told you that's the only man you could have sex with? It's summertime. You understand? This ain't cuffing season. You got to get out there and explore. You got to live your best life. You can't have nobody telling you what to do. You a grown woman. Nobody own you. You Eve. You gonna be the diva. You gonna be the goddess. They gonna all look up to you. They gonna dance like you. They gonna twerk like you. They gonna be on the streets half naked like you. You gonna be God. They gonna worship you. They gonna make days for you. They gonna dedicate a whole day, Mother's Day for you. You gonna be Queen Mother of the Earth. You understand? You gonna be in the Trinity. You gonna be the Mother of God now, like that Holy Mary, Mother of God. More nonsense and vain pagan trinities to worship the woman. You gonna be all of that. They're gonna worship you. That thing between your legs, that's the real power. Show that thing off. Use what you got to get what you want. You can have way more. Adam is holding the truth from you. God know that you gonna be on top. Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop you. You understand? That's all. And then he gamed and gassed Eve's head up. And next thing you know, she go back to Adam. And she teaching Adam everything that the Lord had told him not to learn. We're going to go over here and live this type of lifestyle. We're going to have this. You know, they got weed over there, Adam. I know the Lord said we can't have weed, but listen, the divas, we got weed. They got weed. They got Percocets. They got cocaine. They having Christmas. Do you see these pretty lights? All of these gifts under this tree and these lights? We got to do that, Adam. We should go there. Babe, we missing out. We should go there. Got us all covered up with this long dress. I got to show these legs. I got to show this tail, Adam. You can't hold me down. I think I should be able to have entanglements, Adam. Why can't I be happy? I just want to feel good, Adam. Why can't I feel so good, Adam? And that's what Jada Pinkett said, right? That's what she said. I can't be tied down with these babies, Adam. You know, I'm trying to go get my career. I want to go to the WNBA. I'm going to get my bachelor's degree, Adam. I can't be tied down raising your kids. We're going to have to, you understand? I don't want you telling me what to do either. You know what? I'm going to divorce you and put you on child support, Adam. I want half of the Garden of Eden, and we're going to go over here and turn up. And I'm going to leave the babies with grandma. And we're going to have endless summer. That's what Eve, that's what the serpent taught Eve. This is where our sisters learned it from. This was not our culture before integration. Dressing like some whore, showing off your body, having sex with multiple women, aborting our babies, trying to be equal to the man. That was not our culture before integration. And we were in 400 years of slavery. And as soon as we got out, we started making families again. We started having marriages. We built black communities, black universities, black schools. We did all of that as soon as we got out of slavery. The rest of our oppressive society was falling apart. They were having World War I, World War II, this war, that war. We were separate. They had to kill us, burn down our businesses, and flood our communities with drugs, wipe out our economy, and put us in prison, and police us to death, and turn us against each other. They had to do all of that to destroy us. Well, this is how it started. Christian preachers in the late 80s started sending people to go door to door. While the man was at work, they went door to door with their flyers, with their watchtower, with their Jehovah's Witnesses. Do you know about Jehovah? Have you learned? Are you ready for the return? Do you know you can be the woman of God in your household? You know, man is out working, but you're supposed to be serving God. When from the beginning, this is what God created a woman to do, which is to serve and be a helpmeet to her man. And they stole that from her. They stole that from you. Just like the serpent tricked Eve into thinking that there was a better way to live life besides what God had already given her with her husband. So let's get some more. All right? Y'all let me know if y'all following me. The serpent tricks Eve. Now, it says in verse 6, we in Genesis 3 and 6. It says, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, she saw that this knowledge was so good, it was so sweet, she liked it. She liked being the star. She liked having her name up on lights. She liked all the likes, all the subscribes. She liked all the attention that she was getting. She was a diva. She on stage, she in lights, she being worshiped. They dedicated days to her. They singing songs to her. They doing all of these things, and it seems so sweet and so wonderful. But what she did not realize was the game that the serpent ran on her. You understand? All right, sister, you following Most High in Christ. All right. And it says in verse 6, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, she liked it. She liked the attention. She liked seeing herself in lights and liked being in the mirror and liked all the pictures that she taking, everybody liking and thumbing up her pictures and put her tail in front of the picture and show off her breasts and everything. She like, man, I'm getting 1 million followers and views. I go live, everybody in here, I'm getting all these hearts and thumbs up. Everywhere they want to take pictures with me. All these people want to have sex with me. Like, life is wonderful. I don't have to be just up underneath of Adam. I'm living my best life, man. This is wonderful. They lied to me. They didn't tell me all of this good and wonderful things. And here comes the consequences now. And now it says that when the woman saw that the tree was good and that it was pleasant to the eyes, it looked so wonderful. That's how they game sisters up in that church. The pretty carpet, the beautiful seats, the music, all of that singing. You understand? You think in the church, they singing to God. The sisters is in church loving the singing because it feel like they being sung to. You understand? The same reaction in that Christian church. When them gospel music come off, that's the same reaction that people got going to Michael Jackson's concert and R. Kelly's concert. Falling out, all in the crowd, jumping up and down, screaming. That's what's in church. That is not what it was like to serve the Most High. You understand? But this is what our people equated to, and that's why it's filled with women. And it's sad because that's not the life that the Lord created for a woman. You understand? All right. And it said, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. And she took the fruit thereof. She took that knowledge that she learned. You understand? That's how you know it's not talking about actual fruit. It said, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. We're talking about knowledge and wisdom, not fruit, not apples or oranges or pears or peaches or pomegranates, whatever lie you've been taught, whatever religion you were raised in. It was not literal fruit. The tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof. She took the results of what she learned and she ate it. She ate it down. She was filled with it. You couldn't tell her no more. You couldn't tell her this and that no more. She wasn't going to listen to you no more. She was, woman, thou art loose now. She was, what have you done for me lately? She was, I can do bad by myself. She was Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That's what she was. She wasn't going back to being under no man. What? Nigga, tell me what to do. What? I got my own this, my own that. I want half of Eden. I don't need this. If I want a man, I'll get one. I don't need you. I get the state. I got all of these things, my own job, that puffed her up and made her proud, which is the spirit that America, because the Christian church taught our sisters exactly what the serpent taught Eve in the garden. That's why I'm giving these examples. And it destroyed her, but she did not realize it was destroying her. We're going to get to it later on. You understand? We coming to it. Y'all hang in here. It's going to be a while. All right? It says that when the woman saw, she gave it to him unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Now he ate of it. He fallen weak up underneath of her now. He learning her knowledge. Before, the Lord said, we're not doing this. Now he's saying, well, happy wife, happy life. I'll always love my baby. She my number one. She my heart and my soul. You my sun, my moon, and my stars. You are not to worship a woman. If you are a sister, some man is not supposed to worship you as God. You cannot be his every reason for breathing and for living and for being, why he wakes up in the morning. All of that nice R&B song lyrics is wonderful just to get to have sex with you. But a man is not supposed to worship you. His life is not supposed to revolve around you. His life is not supposed to be about making you happy, doing everything to please you. All of those songs from Joe and Prince and Michael Jackson, all of that old kind of nonsense, all the Silk and Drew Hill and Jagged Edge and Boys to Men, all those good, you understand, all those songs and lyrics and stuff. Life is not supposed to be that way. God wants us to understand from the very beginning of the Bible to not be weak under your woman. This does not mean beat your woman. This does not mean punch her in the face when she says something you don't like. You understand? That's not what this is saying. We don't advocate violence in the Isupk, and the reason that you are getting beat, hit, and beat on is because you are in Christianity and Islam and religions that don't have these rules and the knowledge of good and evil, that don't have the breath of life on how to deal with our families and situations. So all we have left is what a beast of the field has, which is just to resort to violence. You understand? That's why Adam gave this knowledge differently from what every other people had. That's why he made this man special and put him in the garden to take care of this place. All right. So now, verse 7, and the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. They knew that they were missing out. They knew that having it, they knew this. They knew that, well, you got your head wrapped up for. Your God make you cover your head? No, you got to let that head show. Don't nobody put no covering over your head. She alive like you alive. The woman gives life. The woman is God. The sacred, blessed vagina of the planet Earth. That's where all life comes from. You got to worship her. She the queen. It's Mother's Day. You got to celebrate and sing to her. You understand? All of these old kind of things, like they knew that they were separate from the culture of the other people that were around them. They knew that they were the people that weren't smoking weed, and everybody else around them was getting high, and they felt naked. They were ashamed that they were the only ones that didn't know how to roll their own blunt. They didn't know how to light up a rock. They didn't know how. They didn't know the proper measurements for their evil. They didn't know about cooking pork and eating crab and shrimp. They didn't know how to take a hammer and crack the crab, shrimp, and lobster. And they also didn't know about the indigestion. They didn't know about the fibroid and thyroid problems that come from your intestines and your thyroid swelling up from eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. They didn't know about the ovarian cyst and all those uterine problems from eating pork and crab and shrimp and lobster. They didn't know about the kidney failures from eating the wrong foods. They didn't have that foot swelling up with gout from eating all that pork and that crab and that shellfish. They didn't know about that. They didn't know about that drug addiction from hitting your first cigarette or your first blunt or your first rock or your first line of cocaine. They didn't know about missing out on Christmas and Thanksgiving. All they knew was what God said. They didn't know that they were uncovered from the rest of the people that the Lord had separated them from, because Adam and Eve were special and the rest of the people were not. Now they know and feel that they should be a part of those people. You understand? Just like we felt we should be a part of Islam, thanks to the Nation of Islam. Thanks to Malcolm X and Khalid Muhammad and Fard Muhammad, black people thought we should be a part of Islam. We thought that we should be a part of the Moorish Science Temple, even though the Moors were North Africans who had treaties with the British to not go into slavery. We felt that sisters should be a part of that sexual revolution where you're free to now have sex with as many people as you want, and then the knowledge of the good and the evil comes. Now comes all the herpes and the gonorrhea and chlamydia. Now comes all the AIDS and the HPV. Didn't know that before. Now you got good, which was what the Lord said to do, and now you know the knowledge of evil. Now that the punishments have come. You understand? So we're going to keep getting it. All right? And both their eyes were open, and they knew that they were naked. They knew that they weren't covered like the rest of the world was covered. Just imagine how you felt when you're in school and everybody else is having a birthday party and you don't have a birthday party. As a little kid, everybody else is getting Christmas presents and getting Christmas and Christmas trees, and you don't have Christmas presents or a Christmas tree. And all your friends at school, they're getting new this and that for Christmas and for their birthdays, and you never have a Christmas party. No one ever sings happy birthday to you. No one ever buys you Christmas gifts. You never get to look up at that Christmas tree in your living room. You never go Halloween trick or treat door to door. You don't know what that's like, but now you know that everybody else is doing it, and you are like an alien. You are like, where am I? Where have I been? We so uncovered. Is that how people dress now? Well, I need to change how I dress. I'm all covered up. I'm supposed to wear that. Well, I don't need to cover up no more. I got to wear a pair of tights. I got to have my drawers on the outside of my damn outfit, showing see-through clothing. I can't be listening to my husband. I got to be on my own, telling him what to do. I'm supposed to be following my wife now. I'm not supposed to be in charge. Like, everything is out of order now that we've joined the other nations of people and taken their culture. And that is what happened in the book of Genesis. That's why I said they saw they were naked as compared to what everyone else was covered in. And it says, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. This is not physical fig leaves. This is a metaphor. And the apron is just a metaphor for a covering. They made themselves a covering. Like black people going into the Christian church. It's a fig leaf. Because white Christians don't believe the way that black Christians and Hispanic Christians do. Black and Hispanic Christians believe in singing at their problems. White Christians have an army, a navy, Air Force, Marines, a CIA, a FBI, state troopers, park police, highway patrol, rifles, guns, shotguns, missiles, attack helicopters, tanks, destroyers, submarines. That's what white Christians believe in. Black Christians believe in Jesus gonna work it out. That's what black Christians believe in, singing at the problem. White Christians fought for independence from their own white people from Europe. Black and Hispanic Christians are fighting to join the people that put us in slavery and on reservations and in INS detention centers to cut our hair to look like them, to shave our face to look like them, to put lines in our head to look like them, to straighten the curls out of our hair to look like them, to get rid of our braids and our afros to be more acceptable to them. You understand? To move into their neighborhoods, to go to their schools, even though they hate us in the schools and they attack us. They call us the N-word and say, pick my cotton. And they throw stuff and beat us and kill us. Well, we fought to join them when white Christians fought to separate themselves from the people that oppressed them. That's a fig leaf. You understand? Like going into Islam. The Arabs sold us into slavery. Black people is wearing that Muslim kufi hat. Guess what? Arabs from the Middle East don't wear that. I did 10 years in prison kufi hat. Real Arabs don't wear that. I went to school, I went to college with Arabs. After I left the projects, they did not wear the nigger Muslim beanie. They were not wearing that. They not, assalamu alaikum, salam, 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 salam. They're not doing that with each other. It's their culture. To us, it is something we're trying to cover ourselves with because we have now taken off of the heritage that God gave us so that we can put fig leaves to cover ourselves. You understand? Now, into Christianity, sisters had husbands. Everybody else in America was unmarried. 80-something% of black people were married. We were the most married people in the entire country. The black woman was the most married woman in all of America. Now that we've put fig leaves on to cover for not having that husband, not having that father, not having that man anymore, now OnlyFans is going to cover for the attention that you don't get from having a husband because America and the Christian church work to take all of that from you so that you can join to America. Now your job is going to take away all of that. Traveling is going to take away all of that. Abortions is going to make up for that. So you can have the career and kill the baby. So you can have the career and go to school and get your education. Abortion is going to fill in that gap so that you can fill your life with things that's opposite of what would naturally come for the way that the Lord set up life for by the woman being with her man and his helpmeet. Everything else has filled a void. That's why sisters having more strokes and heart attacks. That's why so many sisters, young sisters, 30s, 20s, teens, having all kind of panic attacks and anxiety attacks and real bad anxiety all the time. It's because you are not supposed to be by yourself. You aren't supposed to be in charge of yourself. You aren't supposed to make all the decisions in your life. You aren't supposed to have all of the stress and the problems from the world just sit with you. You are supposed to be under that husband's authority. But by removing that authority from you, which is what the Christian church did, now you have no covering. You got to deal with it yourself. Somebody picking on your son at school, you don't know what to do. You're going to take him to church so he don't be angry. He angry about not having a dad and getting bullied at school. He might go to school and shoot somebody. You don't know how to deal with it. The church don't know how to deal with it. Them marches and candlelight visuals is not teaching you how to deal with it. Every time y'all have a shoot, y'all do them silly candlelight visuals talking about we're going to take back the streets from violence. You understand? None of that is the solution. And this is how and where the problem started. And the Christian church continues the same mistake. They make sure that even if you would have turned back from the evil and the mistake that you did, they make sure that you are strong and proud in your wickedness. That is what the Christian church does to our people. You understand? So it says, and heard the voice of the Lord. All right, they sewed together fig leaves for themselves. All right. Now go ahead and give me Uriah, go ahead and take from verse 8.
So Genesis chapter 3, verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Most High Power walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High Power amongst the trees of the garden.
Right. They hid themselves from God. They heard the voice of the Most High. And now they hiding from the Most High. They heard it. They hiding from the Lord. They hiding from these things. They hearing thou shalt not. You're not supposed to eat pork and crab. They know that they got a belly full of baby back ribs and pork chop grease on their face. And they like, oh, we was not supposed to do that. Come on, let's hide somewhere. Put that blunt out. Oh, damn. We was not supposed to be getting high either. Oh, man. Throw that roach over there. Come on, let's hide over here. Let's go to church. Now the prophets of the Lord is in the street saying that the Lord said not to do this. We not to eat pork. We not to join another nation. We not to celebrate their customs. And they like, man, we going to go to church because church is going to provide us a place to hide where they say it's acceptable to sin against the Lord. So we're going to go to church. We're going to go to the mosque and pray to the God of the Arabs because they don't have laws against the weed that I like to smoke or the Percocets that I like to take or the murdering and drug dealing that I like to do. They don't have a law there, so I'll go there. Or the church, they don't have laws against all this child molestation. So you go there and be a Christian because they allow child molesters to run freely in the Christian church. They allow the homosexuals and the lesbians to run freely in church. They allow an evil man that will have sex with another man's woman to go freely. A liar is free. So if I like lying and I like to cheat and rob and scam and steal from people, now that I've taken on this culture, see, at first, it didn't seem like all of this came with the culture. Now that you being a whore, having sex with more than one brother, now that you having your sexual freedom and your liberation, like the oppressor taught, it didn't seem like all of these problems would come. Before you had you and your husband and you faced life together. Now, don't nobody tell you what to do. You facing life on your own. Now you're sad. Now you're scared. Now you're full of panic attacks and anxiety. Now you raised in homes without a father because the Christian church in America told your mother to get rid of that father or told your father that he didn't have to stay with your mother. He could get rid of her and go find someone younger or whatever else he likes and just throw you away instead of keeping you both, which is what the cultures of the other nations of people, those are the fig leaves that we've covered ourselves with. And now it has destroyed everyone. Now your son don't see what a man is supposed to do. You figure a man is just supposed to, get angry and go and shoot people because that's what real niggas do. That's all he know because this is the example that our oppressors left for us instead of the example that the Most High had set up when things were in the proper order the way he set it up when Adam was in charge. He forfeited Adam's authority, and Adam, not knowing that this was going to happen if he fell weak underneath of his woman, now she's in charge. She off doing whatever she want, Adam off somewhere being weak, and the Lord is pissed. You understand? Just like how it is right now in our communities. Keep going.
Verse 9. And the Most High Power called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? Verse 10. And he
Adam. He
said,
called to Adam and said unto him, Where are you? Said Adam, what in the hell is going on? I see a tree over here decorated with silver and gold. I see a goddamn jack-o'-lantern over there. I see something about Ramadan over here. Adam, what in the hell are you doing? I smell weed in the garden. You understand? Adam, where are you? That's what happened. The father coming to get some straightening going on. What in the hell have you been doing? Keep going.
And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid.
You understand? He
Because
answered like Go ahead.
sir, because I was naked and I hid myself.
He understood. He said, he answered like any child that got caught doing something wrong. If it's too quiet and it's too quiet and you got little children in there and you call and you say, son, what are you doing? What are y'all doing in there? Huh? What are y'all doing in there? Why is it so quiet? Nothing. And then somebody run in and see who can snitch first. And next thing you know, everybody trying to avoid getting a beating because everybody know that they doing something that daddy said not to do. And now they like, oh, damn, daddy's coming. I hid what are you doing in here? What are you doing? Why y'all in this lotion? What are you doing? Why is this powder all over the floor? Why you got these pull-ups out? What are you doing? Put them toys in there. Why didn't you answer when I called you? And they start making up excuses. This is what Adam did. I hid myself. I was afraid, I was in here, I'm in here messing up, and I hid myself. Salaki. This is what Adam did. This is what children do when they get in trouble. This is exactly what happened. Only Adam was not supposed to be in this position. Adam had a much greater responsibility than children do. And he fumbled. And it's going to tell you why. Keep going.
Verse 11. And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked?
Who in the hell told you this? Oh, I was over here getting ready, for Ramadan. It's time for Ramadan. Who the hell told you about some Ramadan, Adam? Huh? Shaquille? My friend, we was just down there. I hid myself because I was wrapping Christmas presents. Who in the hell told you about wrapping Christmas presents, Adam? Keep going. Keep reading. This is what's happening in the scriptures. This is what you're reading. Keep going.
Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat?
You've been out learning from people, taking the customs and the cultures from the other nations of people that I told you not to do. What is this woman is God nonsense? What is this blessed, sacred vagina of all Mother Earth? What is this nonsense you doing, Adam? What the hell is this sage doing burning every goddamn where, Adam? What is all of these crystals here? Why is she over there half naked? Why is your woman dressed like this, Adam? Why the hell did she shave her head? Who told her to shave her head? Why did you cut your beard, Adam? What in the hell is going on? Salakia. Keep going.
Verse 12. And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest, the woman
as soon as your kids get in trouble, they gonna start pointing fingers. Somebody, no. Y'all, you know me. I was good. I was being good. I wouldn't have did nothing like this. But that woman, this her fault. I ain't want to do it. I wasn't with it at all. You know me. I would have never did nothing like this. But that woman, we ain't had no problems like this. We had none of these problems until you gave me this woman. I ain't had none of that. I wasn't with none of this. It was just in the garden. I was doing my job. I was naming stuff. And then here she come. And next thing you know, we in church. It's Mother's Day. all kind of stuff going on. She bought me these tight pink pants, all kind of stuff. She said I look better without my beard. And, Salakia is this woman, Lord. That's what Adam said. Keep going.
Kind of a con, sir. The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
The woman that you gave me, that woman taught me this. I didn't know nothing about none of this. She went out, get some water one day. She came back talking about Ramadan, talking about the Blessed Trinity and Mother Earth. And she bought a plant with her and lit the plant on fire and told me that they told her to try this. And next thing you know, this would happen. Is that woman, Salakia. Keep going.
Kind of a con. Verse 13. And the Most High Power said unto the woman, what is this? And the Most High said unto the woman,
go ahead.
What is this that thou hast done?
The Lord did not. Yes, it was Adam's responsibility. It was completely Adam's responsibility to be in charge. And this is something that sisters have to learn. You have to learn this about yourself. It is the man's responsibility to be in charge. But hear how God resolved the matter. See what he said. Keep going.
And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me.
And she said, it was the damn serpent. It wasn't me. I was listening to Adam. It was the serpent. Keep going.
Kind of a con, verse 14. And the Most High Power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field.
He cursed
upon thy.
Go ahead.
Kind of a concert. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
Now, this is the punishment that the Lord gave to the serpent. He said, upon your belly, meaning you are going to be a low down, dirty creature. Snakes never walked on 4 legs. That's a lie. It's another lie you got from Christianity because Christians don't know the Bible. You understand? Punishment that this was said to the man that tricked Eve into disobeying her husband and tricked him into disobeying the Most High. The woman can be very persuasive, very powerful. You understand? A woman can make a kingdom great, and she can also destroy a kingdom. You understand? The same woman is a very great and important lesson from the very beginning book of Genesis that you are not to be weak under your woman. You are not to let your woman have power and authority and rule over you. That's all throughout the Bible. You are not to be a weak man that is full and weak with lust and silliness and childishness, which is so much what is spread all throughout the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, which is why so much is out of order. You understand? Which is why things need to be put back in their proper order, and a woman is not to be worshipped. She got worshipped and put on a pedestal far above what the Lord wanted. Adam was not supposed to listen to that woman. He was not supposed to listen to his wife into disobeying the Most High because it pleased her, because she was excited about it, because she was fired up and full of excitement and happy. He went along with it when he should not have. And Mother's Day is something evil that you should not go along with. You understand? All of those holidays is for the kids. Christmas and Valentine's Day and Halloween. The kids don't know anything about that at 1 or 2 years old. The baby just be happy to look in the mirror and discover that he got a reflection. The baby be happy to sit and lay on their back drinking milk with a foot or a fist in their mouth until they get some teeth. The baby don't know anything about anything. Those holidays are for your woman. Christmas is for her. Halloween is for her. Those birthday parties are for her. The baby's scared to death. You cut off those damn lights and light a fire and put it in front of the baby's face. And then everybody circle around the baby and start chanting the scariest damn thing in the world to a baby. But it's not for the baby. The baby don't give a damn. It's for that mother. And this is a lesson from the beginning of the Bible that the Lord does not want you weak up underneath of a woman. And if you are a woman, you should understand that you need a man to have power and authority over you, because by nature, if the woman in the Garden of Eden that had everything, that needed nothing, if she fell weak from the advances of the serpent, of our oppressor, who is now the devil that the Bible speaks of, if she in paradise fell weak, then you know you should be double careful to make sure that you are not worshipped at all. You understand? Mother's Day, Father's Day, whoever gives you a Mother's Day card, they hate you. You get a Mother's Day card, a flower, some happy Mother's Day something, understand that they hate you. We don't give out Mother's Day cards and flowers here in the ISUPK. The people that give Mother's Day cards and flowers, these are the same fathers that leave you alone with the kids and leave you to fend for yourself. When he's tired of having sex with you or tired of dealing with your issues, he'll go and get another woman and forget you exist. But he will give you a Mother's Day card. He'll leave you in the house alone to be scared every time there's a knock at the door or a phone call after 9 o'clock or every letter or bill that you open in the mail. He'll leave you to deal with that on your own, to have panic attacks and be frightened and have sex, and now leave you to go and fend for yourself and find another man to have sex with. He'll leave you to yourself to raise those sons and try not to raise a murderer like half of the other sisters in the neighborhood are raising murderers, and raise that daughter by yourself and try not to raise a whore or some stripper like a quarter of the other sisters in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community are raising without fathers to father those children. But he will give you a goddamn Mother's Day flower and some balloons. Happy Mother's Day. You know I love you. That's nonsense. We don't have that fake good Christian love in here. We don't have that. We don't do that. Don't have sex with sisters and throw them away. We don't do that. We keep them all. Now, if some whore goes and has sex with another man, you on your own. You belong to the streets. Sit thou in the dust. You on your own. But that's who's giving you these Mother's Day flowers. They say, well, I know you're giving mommy this Mother's Day, but why did you and mommy break up? Why did you leave mommy? You understand? Even the kids can tell that mommy's a goddamn mess by how many times we have to move and how much she's complaining about the job and how she's scared to death from all the bills. The kid can see it after the first 6, 7, 8, 9 years old that mommy is at the end of her rope all the time. The kids can see it without the Spirit of the Lord. That's why every sister, every brother needs to get in the ISUPK to come under the covering and these teachings from the prophets of the Lord with the Holy Spirit of God can direct our people's lives and give us the counsel that we so very need. That's who's going to give you those Mother's Day cards and balloons. You understand? The nursing home industry and hospice care that you're going to end up in when you can't take care of yourself, that's who's going to give you those Mother's Day and Father's Day cards. I remember every year they would have big Mother's Day dinners, and they would give Happy Mother's Day to my mother and give Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and the sisters in the neighborhood and all the aunts and everybody. Happy Mother's Day. You know we love you. You know we love you. You understand? And then you get sick and can't take care of yourself, and you don't hear from them ever again until they show up at your funeral. But you got a card every year. You got a phone call. You know I love you. Happy Mother's Day, child. You know I'm so proud of you, girl. Yeah. Letting you get sick and can't take care of yourself. You won't see them. You're not going to see them. They're not going to call. And they're not going to do that. That inconvenience, that fake Christian love for all of those holidays, we don't have that here in the UPK. We got real love in here. That's not based on the holidays. That's not dependent on how you feel at the time or what season it is. You understand? It's just absolute nonsense. So we're going to finish this off. Keep going. What verse were you at, Uraj? The serpent beguiled me and I did eat. The serpent is going to be a low down, dirty bastard all of his life. You understand? Drop me down to verse 16. The punishment that comes. Give me 16.
Sir, verse 16. Unto the woman, he said,
there's a punishment unto the woman. Go ahead.
I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
Keep going.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
He said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception, meaning when you get pregnant, that's your conception. You're not going to have a nice, sweet, wonderful pregnancy. You're going to have the swollen feet, the back pain, the breast pain, some bleeding, some nausea, some vomiting, some throwing up, horrible cramps, all kind of pains and pains and pains everywhere. The Lord said, I'm going to greatly multiply it. A pregnant lioness, you don't see her having that horrible time delivering lions. A pregnant horse, you don't see them going through all of that. Pregnant fish, none of them, you don't see them going through all of that. Nothing else in nature that the Lord gave the ability to reproduce, you don't see them going through the pain and the anguish and the hurt and the sorrow, needing shot after shot and epidural and this and this and this just to bring forth life, because this was a punishment from the Most High. Hot Girl Summer didn't seem like you were going to have contractions for 36 hours, did it? It seemed like fun being diva queen boss lady. It didn't seem like you were going to have morning sickness for 6 months. You understand? Back pain and swollen this and that and all kind of afterbirth problems. It didn't seem like any of that. It seemed like the serpent just said something fun, that you can be a diva and a goddess, because the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, the deceiver. Okay, young man Alfred, I see your question. I'm going to come to it in a second. All right. The Lord said he multiplied the sorrow that you're going to bring forth children. All of that pain, damn near dying every time. It was not like that in the beginning. Keep going.
Sir. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children,
Sorrow.
and thy desire. Oh, select, sir.
Go ahead.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Meaning your desire is going to be to your husband. Your life's desire. This was the lesson that the Lord wanted the woman to learn from the very beginning. Your desires are supposed to be towards your husband. At no point in time were you were supposed to spend significant periods of your life, 30, 40, 20, 30, 40 years of your life, without the whole sole purpose why the Lord made you a woman, was for a man. That's the whole purpose. That's why everything is out of order. You understand? This whole society is out of order. And it's built up and it stands upon Christianity, which is the root of all of these problems, why nothing makes sense anywhere. You understand? And he shall rule over thee, not be equal to, not 50-50. He's supposed to rule over you, meaning you're supposed to check with him to see if something is right or wrong. He's supposed to have the final say, not 50-50, not happy wife, happy life. You are to obey him, not the serpent, not the pastor, not your mama, not everybody else. You are to be and obey your husband. He shall rule over you. The Christian church says the opposite. They say you rule over your damn self. You free to do whatever you want. Don't nobody own you or tell you what to do at all. Own your own property, your own land, your own business, your own everything. You your own boss, queen, diva, boss lady, all my single ladies, independent woman, hear me roar. God did not make you for that. That's not how God designed it. You live in a life that is outside of what God set up. And World War III and empty grocery stores and empty gas stations is getting ready to put the world back in its proper order. And the first strike of that match is the revoking of Roe versus Wade. No more abortions. No more murdering that baby so that you can continue your career or pursue your education. Maybe you should stop getting all this damn education if it means you got to murder your baby. Guess what? Even with your baby, I went to college with plenty of sisters, and they had tons of kids. The Arab woman is not killing her babies to go to college. The African woman is not killing her babies to go to college. The Chinese woman is not killing her babies to go to college. Susie and Ann and Karen are not killing their babies to go to college. That is a scam that they ran on you, black women. That scam was run on you. Right along with the scam to have sex with everybody that you want, the scam to dress however you want, the scam to say whatever you want. It was a scam. The church is in on it. All of the businesses getting all the money in the black community are in on it. The penal system is in on it so they can lock up your sons and daughters when you can't control the kids that you're raising without that man. Everybody's in on it. The courts are in on it. The presidents are in on it. The government is in on it. Everyone is eating and feeding off of our people because you bought into the scam the same way Eve bought into the lie from the serpent. And they trying as best they can to get our Hispanic sisters, but the language barrier is causing them such issue that they aren't able to get our Hispanic sisters the way that they got, you understand, the tribe of Judah and Benjamin and the English-speaking tribes here in America. They aren't able to get it. That's why they got them being detained at the border, and they just snatch the damn kids and go put them in a concentration camp because they can't get them to kill enough of their babies, even though they do kill plenty, which we should have none with these abortions. They can't get them the way that they can get Eve here that's been under the foot of this oppressor for a longer period in English. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's finish out on this. Keep going.
Sir. Verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
Why did he say this? Because what?
Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
Because you fell weak under the voice of your wife. Keep going.
And hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake.
Cursed is the ground for thy sake. That's why you go in the projects, there's no grass. You in the ghetto, you in the hood, you don't hardly see grass anywhere. Chances are, if you go outside right now and look at the grass, if you're not in the suburbs somewhere, you're not going to see any grass. You might see Newports, you might see Black and Milds, you might see broken grass, you might see some dirt, cigarette butts, you understand, or weed bags, but you're not going to see a whole lot of grass. Our communities used to be filled with peach trees, lemon trees, orange trees, apple trees, fruit trees, blue and raspberries, and honeysuckle everywhere. You understand? They were everywhere, all over the black community, all over. All those trees are dead now. You'd be lucky if you see, you understand, if you see a shrub with some blueberries somewhere now. You understand? Because us listening and joining the other nations of people, when they came in our community, they poisoned all of those trees. So now you have to go to their grocery store in order to get fruits and vegetables. When in our laws, it was law that the rich had acres and acres of fruits and vegetables so that the poor and the widow, the infant, the child, and the fatherless could just come and eat all the fruits and vegetables from the corners of your hundreds of acres of fields, which we lost all of it, listening to the serpent instead of obeying the voice of the Lord. This is why Adam is getting his punishment. Keep going.
In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
Sorrow. You're not going to be able to enjoy your good long lunch break with your feet on the desk. You're going to be eating lunch on your way back to clock in. You're going to be eating lunch in the line trying to get back to work. You're not going to be able to rest and enjoy your food. You're going to eat food. You're going to be half asleep trying to feed your family. You won't get to sit at the dinner table with your family. Somebody going to be coming from work. Somebody going to be coming from school. Somebody else going to be stuck in traffic. You better eat. And by the time you get home, it's time to shower and go to sleep because you got to get up at the crack of dawn to do it again tomorrow. In sorrow, you're going to enjoy everything. You're going to have to pay for that water. You're going to have to pay for that electricity. You're going to have to pay for the energy from the sun or from the wind, which is where you get the electricity from. You have to pay for that. You're going to have to pay just to take your own children after they're born. You're going to have to give them a fee for you to take your own children from the hospital after you give birth. You feel that? They're going to charge you a fee to collect the baby that just came out of your woman. You got to pay a fee to get that baby. Like the Lord said, everything you're going to have is going to be in sorrow. It says, was the ground cursed wherever Adam walked? Yes, the ground is cursed right now. The Middle East is that land that they fighting over. That is the most fertile and most pleasant land on the entire planet. They show you all of that desert right now, but most of the world's resources, all of those things is in the Middle East. That's where we come from. Turkey, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Yemen. If you've been in Esau's military, his Navy or Air Force or Army, you might be familiar with these areas because he probably sent you over there. But that land belongs to us. That's why they millionaires and trillionaires and the Arab Emirates and Dubai and the Saudi prince of this and that, all of that oil and gold and all of those minerals, that stuff, that's our land. And it was so much better than it is now, but the Lord cursed that land so it doesn't produce the way that it used to. You understand? In the Bible, it said in the land of Canaan, which belonged to us, parts of that land, there were grapes that were so big in a cluster, you needed a full dinner plate to carry the grapes, that the cluster of grapes was so big. One cluster of grapes you had to put on a plate. That's how big the grapes were. Now you get a grape barely this big. They got to put 2 bushels in a bag in order to get some grapes. Like that's how rich our land was, and the Lord cursed that land more and more and more over the years to now mostly what you see is a bunch of desert, but that's not all that's in the Middle East. All right. Was that the end on that scripture, Urash? Because I want to get this brother's question. All right.
Kind of a concert. That was pretty much
All
it.
right.
If you want me to read verse 18, I would finish it off.
All right. So because Adam fell weak up underneath of his woman, now we getting evicted from the Garden of Eden. Listening to your woman, listening to mommy. Happy Mother's Day. Now we homeless. It was all good just a week ago, just a chapter ago. It says, and to Adam, because thou hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee. You didn't have thorns and thistles before. Y'all look at those flowers, how beautiful the roses are and all of that. You didn't have that before. Now you got thorns and thistles all on your vines, sticker bush, stinging nettles, all kind of things all in the garden. You didn't have that before. You do now. The Lord brought those forth. And thou shalt eat the herb of the field. You're not going to get the choice herbs anymore. You're going to eat what you find in the field. In sweat, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. It's going to be much harder for you to eat now. Till thou return unto the ground, until you die. For out of it thou was taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. You understand? That's what happened. Got evicted. In verse 22 it says, and the Lord God, the Most High Power, said, behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat it, and live forever. Therefore the Most High Power sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, got kicked out of the Garden of Eden, and he placed him at the east of the garden of the Eden of cherubims, and a flaming sword which turneth every way, in every direction, to keep the way of the tree of life. Like there's a sword, there's a divide to keep it so that we cannot get back there. When Christ returns, we will have it again. We're not going to get back to paradise anymore. You understand? It's not there. It's a flaming sword keeping it. That's why everybody is fighting over the Middle East. That is where the Garden of Eden was. That's why they're fighting over Iraq and Iran and Syria and Assyria. That's why they're fighting there, because that is the Garden of Eden. It has always been there. You understand? So now, Let me get this brother's question. We're going to go a little bit longer. Why are y'all hanging in there? It says Genesis chapter 25. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 25. Is the nakedness from Genesis 2 and 25 different from Genesis 3 and 10? Genesis 2 and 25, you understand? No. He was without his covering. The nakedness that is talking about, he was without his proper covering. He was supposed to be. Let me give you an example. He created a covering in Genesis 2:25 because now he learned about the customs of the other nations. So he learned about Ramadan. He learned about Christmas and Thanksgiving. He learned about shaving his beard and shaving his head and his face and getting rid of those braids and that beard and that afro. He learned how not to talk with so much bass and masculinity and be strong, to be weak, to let mommy rule, to have happy wife, happy life, to let his woman be in charge. The woman became God because what she said is more important than what God says. And that's why so many brothers are scared to come into the truth because they are afraid of their wives. They are afraid of their mommy. They're afraid of their wife. They don't want their wife to find out that he can have another woman if he wants. Don't want him to be too masculine, too much strength, because that is going to challenge the authority that the Christian church in America and our oppressor has given to her unjustly to rule over him, to make a man so weak that he cannot serve the Most High. That is what Christianity is for. So when you come talk about being a warrior with this power and this masculinity and this beard and not being weak under your woman and talking about how the woman is not to be worshipped and God punished the woman for ruling over the man, she's not going to like it because she has a position of a power and authority and rulership that if she gets in any way displeased, she can divorce the man, put him out the house, call the police and say he made me unhappy, take the kids, get a divorce, get the house, get everything. All of the power and authority in this society is given to a woman, which the Lord never intended for a woman to have. Just the idea of knowledge that she can be worshipped ruined the Garden of Eden in less than one chapter. Made the man weak. He had been serving the Lord in charge of everything. He got a woman. The serpent taught her something. She got empowered with women's empowerment that all the churches in America teaches. Now she rules over Adam. Adam's weak. We out of the Garden of Eden in less than one chapter. We evicted. Just like that. You see what I'm saying? So the ground was cursed by it being taken. The ground was cursed by a lot of things. It was cursed from us. And now, before, we did not have to work for the garden to produce. The garden automatically produced the fruits and the crops and the vegetables. The garden automatically had these things. The Lord put Adam in a garden that was already furnished. All he had to do was just make it tilled, keep the weeds down, keep this down, make sure that you pick the fruits and the crops. He already had that. Just like Cain and Abel knew to bring an offering to the Most High. That's why Cain brought an offering of the fat of the lambs, of the goats, and Abel bought the lamb and the goats, and Cain bought the work of the ground. They knew they were supposed to give an offering because first fruits and giving offering is in the law. Adam was given the law. In Genesis, the 2nd chapter, that was the breath of life that was put into his nostrils that got him up out of the dust or that lower state of being, the lower state of living his life. Now he functions at a higher state, a higher capacity on a spiritual level because the Lord gave him the instructions to rule and be in charge. That's the breath of life, not just him being alive, because all man was made alive on the 6th day. All man was made at the same time. That's why Adam was able to get a wife from his flesh from Eve. He had family and people, they just weren't important. You see what I'm saying? Just like the rest of the people weren't important. So, okay, you got it. Most High in Christ. That answers your question. But yes, for a young man, Alfred, in Genesis 2 and 25, that nakedness is the same. They covered themselves to try to fit into the society of the other nations of people. They covered themselves to fit in amongst Christianity, amongst living with the other nations of people. Now you don't greet each other. Hey, what's up, brother? What's going on? Hey, what's going on? You don't be as loud and greet each other like that because it'll scare the Chinese people. They'll be scared to death. You twice their size. You got these braids, this beard. You got gold and stud. You got jewelry in your damn mouth. You're big as hell. You're full of muscles and masculinity. You're a warrior. You got a damn sword on. You're rough as hell. They scared to death. So now you got to, good morning. Hello, how are you? You can't have too much masculinity because everybody's scared to death of you because you are the sons of God. Now you got to, good morning. How y'all doing? Don't worry, it's just me. Now you got to get rid of that beard. That beard is terrifying. Them braids scare the hell out of everybody. No, it's all right. You got to talk like O.J. Simpson or Martin Luther King. Yes, it's all right. Good morning. Hello, how are you? Hey, how you doing? Not too strong, not too rough. Hey, what's going on, Op? Y'all about to shoot me. I was shot record thigh. What's going on, Op? You can't do that. They're going to be scared. They're going to jump out a window. They're going to call the police. We being invaded. It's a rap group. They're gang members. They're big. They're black. You understand? They're terrifying. We're scared. Now you got to tone your spirit down to not make everybody else afraid. So you can't be strong like you would if it was just us. You can't talk the way that you would if you were just talking to each other, because now you've mixed yourself with the other people and you've weakened yourself. You've weakened your culture. You've weakened your people. You've weakened your heritage. Now we have fig leaves. We got to cover ourselves with something else. So now we can't be brothers. We got to all do something different because we're fractured. You see what I'm saying? That's what happened. Okay, Most High in Christ, you got it now. All right. So I just want to read a couple of scriptures. I know we up to the 2 hours. We're going to read a couple of scriptures to go over just to get some more. You understand? These are very important scriptures just to go over. Like the Lord is saying, and from the very beginning, the Lord wanted us to realize this. Let's see, what are we looking at? A woman was a woman. We can't fathom. Right. In Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 24, it says, of the woman came the beginning of sin. Anytime there's some celebration to worship a woman, this does not mean if you graduate and get a degree, we cannot celebrate you. Nobody celebrates their daughters and wives and sisters like we do here in Isupk. But you cannot be worshipped as a god. You can't be put on a pedestal to where you rule everything, to where you're queen, diva, boss lady, because this is what happened to us from the very beginning of recorded history when we did that. That's why this is the first lesson in the Bible at the very beginning in the book of Genesis. All of your years as a Christian, have you ever had this explained to you? Young man Alfred, the sisters in Baltimore, and everywhere. Have you ever had this explained to you? All of your years of hearing people talk about the Bible and about the book of Genesis, before you came into the Isupk, have you ever had any of this explained to you, what actually happened in the Garden of Eden? Y'all type in and let me know. Like, this is what the Lord wants. And instead of raising proud, arrogant Megan Thee Stallion Rihannas that will not cover their nakedness, they won't cover their shame, and they teach other sisters to be shameless and be whores and do all of these things that cheapen a woman, that devalue a woman. Having sex with multiple men devalues a woman. That devours you. You understand? Devalues. Salakia. Let's say it correctly. Damn right. No, we were never taught these things. So important. So you will know the purpose. There's a treasure that the Lord put inside of you as a woman, and it is not to be worshipped as a god or a diva. That destroys a sister. That destroys a woman, because that goes against what the Lord actually created a woman for. That's how sisters end up so many times out of place. That's how Brittany Griner ends up in Russia, arrested. Her whole life, she's been able to travel and live however she wants. She's got money, she's got talent, she's got abilities, and America makes it acceptable for you to do whatever you want, when a woman is not supposed to just be everywhere. A woman is not supposed to just be all in everybody's country. That's how you get kidnapped. That's how you go missing. That's how you end up missing in goddamn Russia or in Dubai, or we don't know what happened to her. You're not supposed to, this is not supposed to be. You understand? That doesn't mean you have to be in the house only. That doesn't mean you can't ever take a trip or a vacation. That doesn't mean that you are sinning if you like to travel. But this is not what the Lord made a woman for. This is not how you are supposed to move and operate as a woman. And you need to understand this, because while you're being worshiped for Mother's Day, while you're being worshiped for all of the other holidays, which is really just about a woman, because the kids could care less. You could dress up your son as Spider-Man tomorrow and give him a bunch of candy, and he won't give a damn about Halloween. He'll be Spider-Man with the Spider-Man mask, doing the web shooter with a bunch of goddamn Starbursts and Jolly Ranchers. If you give it to him tomorrow, he won't care about Halloween. But you care that he gets Halloween. You care that he gets a birthday party. And you'll teach him to care also. Then it'll be important later on down the line. You imagine, just as a sidebar, how shameful that is. Here you are, 40 years old, talking about something. It's my birthday. Happy birthday, Earl. Happy birthday. Nigga, you's a grown man, 40 years old, kids, grandkids, talking about happy birthday. It's my special day. It's my another day alive. Another year. Grow your big ass up, man. Stop that. You look so sad and pathetic. Stop doing that. If you want cake, go get cake. If I want cake, I'll get cake tonight. I'll get cake tomorrow. If I want to have a special dinner, don't wait once a year to treat me like I'm special and then I not be worth a damn to you every other day until this one day of the year comes around. That's Christianity. That's fake. Don't do that. You understand? So let me just get these scriptures, man. Just pull these real quick. Wow. Yet. Just hit these few scriptures. The water y'all hanging in there, staying with us over the time. A very important scripture to understand about yourself as a woman. Come and stay in these classes and learn. It may be hard things that you've never heard before, but hear these. 1 Timothy, this is in the New Testament. I know that they've never taught you these scriptures. And we're saying this out of love to save your lives so that you don't end up like Brittany Griner in some Russian prison somewhere. You understand? In the middle of World War III, you some POW in Russia. It says, but she, 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 6 says, but she that liveth in pleasure, meaning if you are a woman and your whole life is about what is pleasurable to you, your life is about what pleases you. I eat whatever pleases me. I go to sleep with whatever pleases me. I do whatever I want. My whole life is about what is pleasurable to me. This is what God said. She that liveth in pleasure. That doesn't mean she that enjoys pleasure, she that has pleasure. But if your whole life is about what is pleasurable and fun to you, turn up, turn up, turn up, smoke, 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 party, 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 ho, 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 dance, dance, dance. Everything in your life is just what pleasures to you. She is dead while she liveth. God said a woman that her whole life lives in pleasure, she is already dead while she's yet alive. Because Eve chased something that was pleasurable to her from the very beginning, and it caused so much death and suffering from the very beginning of the Bible. How to explain to a child that there will not be another birthday celebration? That's a good question. You got to come to school. Come into the class, of course, coming into the truth, they're not going to like the fact that they don't get Christmas and birthdays anymore. That's the very basis and the fight of coming into the truth. That's coming into the truth. That's just the start. Not getting Christmas presents anymore. Not getting birthday presents. You explain to a child, they'll be mad, they'll cry, all of those things. This is what the scriptures say when Christ said, he that loveth mother or father, brother or sister more than me is not worthy of me. They're not going to like not getting birthday and Christmas presents. Your woman is not going to like not getting that, that happy birthday and that Mother's Day card. She ain't going to like that. You going to meet harsh resistance and possibility. You understand? Depending on how everything's set up, you going to meet resistance. That's why the Bible says the Lord is a man of war. He's a man of conflict. When Paul was writing those letters from prison to the schools in the New Testament, he told Timothy, fight the good fight of faith. Endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. These were not metaphors. Like he's saying, you're going to have a warfare on your hands if you're going to serve Christ. Exodus 15:3 say the Lord is a man of war. meaning God is about conflict. The God in this Bible is about warfare and battle and conflict and fighting. Christmas and birthdays and Thanksgiving, that is warfare and conflict. And your mother and your cousins and everybody else is going to want to get birthday presents and toys and Christmas for your kids. And you're going to be like, nah, we don't do that no more. Don't give little JJ this anymore. Don't give Javier, don't give him these Valentine's Day cards anymore. We don't celebrate this. You understand? Heck of a battle with my mother when I told her I stopped celebrating Mother's Day. To say, you know what, Mom? The first few years, you will the battle. As you continue to grow and get stronger and stronger, it's just one day. That's all. Mom, I don't feel good. I'm not feeling good this year, Mom. You know I love you. All of that, but I'm not going to make it through. Mom, we're not going to church for Mother's Day Sunday. You understand? I'm not going. I don't feel good. Just come up with something. You don't have to lie. Just come up with something. And then over time, they'll stop inviting you. They'll stop expecting you to do it. But yeah, with your child, it's going to be something. It's going to be a battle. And that's why you keep in contact. Be sure to contact the school wherever you are. We got Isupk schools all over the nation, all in Baltimore, all in Pennsylvania. Some of y'all might be in Louisiana. We got a school in Shreveport, classes in Louisiana and New Orleans. You understand? We got classes in Virginia. Got a school if you're near D.C. If you're near Baltimore, we got a school in Baltimore, Delaware, Philly, Jersey, New York, Syracuse, all throughout the Midwest. Understand? Central South America, all in Europe and in UK, Trinidad, Jamaica. We got schools. You contact the school where you are. Let them know you will be a part of the school. Let them know, get some counseling. You call in to see how can I do these things. At the end of our videos, where we do our speakings and our camp speakings, there's a list of all of our physical schools where you can contact the school in your location and you can physically go to the school if we have a school there. You can physically go so that they can see, well, why is it that I'm not getting these Christmas presents anymore? Why is it? And of course, they're going to, in some cases, they might want to be closer to grandma because grandma's going to do anything for the grandkids. She's going to give them the presents and the toys, and that all of that is the battle. That's how it goes. But you have to understand that you will be in a battle. Christianity says everything going to work out. The Lord said you're going to fight the good fight of faith. It's going to be a battle. It's about warfare. You understand? It's spiritual, but this is how, you just come in. Don't sweat it. Just keep coming to class. Keep asking your questions. Call the school numbers to get counsel. We got numbers all over the world. You can call and get counsel. That's just what you do. You explain to a child. There's plenty of sisters in here that had to explain to their sons and their daughters, listen, we're not getting birthdays no more. The Lord said we're not supposed to do this. We're not celebrating this anymore. This is against God. It makes God angry, so we're not going to do it. This was wrong. And over a time, they'll be upset. They'll cry, whatever. They'll get over it. You've had kids that cried before. Everybody's had kids that cried, get upset. Eventually, they'll get over it. They'll be fine. That's all. That's all you do. It seems bigger now than what it really is. All right. I'm just going to run through these scriptures. We way over the time here. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 21. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman. Don't stumble at just how beautiful a woman is and desire her not for pleasure. Don't take a woman just so that you can have pleasure with her, just so that you can just have sex with her and whatever pleases you, because you will be tied to this woman permanently. There's no getting rid of her. You understand? Unless you are a coward and a disgusting bastard and a Christian that have sex with sisters and throw them away because you don't feel like having to deal with them anymore. Don't want to handle the responsibilities that the Lord gave to be responsible for that woman you had sex with. You understand? Which you're not going to do that in here. You understand? But that, don't just take a woman to desire her for beauty and pleasure. You understand? It says a wicked woman abateth courage. She makes a man too weak to serve the Lord. That's why so many brothers don't come into the truth, because a wicked woman makes you bow to her so that you can't stand to serve the Most High. Maketh a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. Imagine Adam waking up on Tuesday in the Garden of Eden. Imagine you wake up in the Garden of Eden. You got big fat grapes, strawberries and mangoes. You got healthy food, all kind of good steaks and gravies. You ain't got to wake up at no certain time. You ain't got no thorns and thistles, no allergies and all of that. No bunions hurting you, none of this kind of stuff. Everything is wonderful. You in the Garden of Eden. Then you listen and fall weak under your wife. And now she teach you to go against the Lord. And Wednesday you wake up and you got to go to work at 3 a.m. And you work from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. and sit in 2 hours of traffic to get back home. From Tuesday to Wednesday. That was a wicked woman. Something evil that she did. You understand? And it made life grievous. Imagine Tuesday you in heaven in the Garden of Eden, and then Wednesday you now in the projects. Thanks to a wicked woman that you listen to over listening to the Most High. You understand? It says, that's what the Lord is talking about. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, maketh weak hands and feeble knees. A woman is supposed to comfort her man in distress. She's supposed to make it strong and popular by supporting the church. You understand? You can also make righteous men good and strong by supporting the truth, supporting the men of the Lord in the Isupk. You understand? Which we start out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite groups, you understand? And a brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to learn and share themselves with the world. Tithes is a commandment from the Most High. My Aishra in the Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives to you, you're to give to the school. Go right to isupk.com, put your amount, donations, you get a stimulus check. You find $20 on the ground, you hit the lottery, you hit the Powerball, all of those things there, you just automatically do that. It'll come right here, and it'll give you a receipt right to your phone. That's what you want to do. Our streaming to Facebook may be issue on Facebook. It's impossible. Take it Facebook. We keep that. All right. That's what that is. And a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they're to get counsel from the school. They get counsel from your camp leader on their heads to speak to a brother or sister. After that, they will be given permission to court. There's an additional or they will be denied, which is important. Denial is very important. There isn't enough denial. That's why it's so much goddamn abortion everywhere, which will end, Lord willing, now that Roe versus Wade has been overturned. No more killing your babies for a damn career. Hot girl summer ends with pregnancy winter. You understand? It's over. Thank the Lord. All right. So after that 6 months, there's an additional period where you will either be given permission with a counsel to marry and go from there. You understand? You're not allowed to just up and have sex with whoever you want in here. That's in the world. We don't have that in here. You got rules in here. And lastly, upcoming high holy days. The next high holy day you got coming up. What's the next one, Gad?
We are on the Feast of First Fruits.
Feast of First Fruits. The closing of the Feast of First Fruits should be the next thing that's coming up. Most High in Christ. When is that? What's the date for that?
June 12th. June
12th. Most High in Christ. All right. And lastly, if any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, it'll be in all black. Black shirts, boots, headbands, scarf, war scarf, be in all black. Pants, everything, all black. Contact the school, whatever city or state that you are in. Find the number, Google it. We're on Google, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all social media platforms. Search whatever city or state that you're in. There's an Isupk school, either there or very close to there. You understand? And with that, one courtesy salute to the brothers. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatham. To the sisters, Yahweh Shemar Alathan Ba'Shem Yahushua. Stay tuned. Our next class will be Friday, the Hebrew language class. Learn your language, learn your heritage, read, write, and speak the ancient Hebrew, the Lashwan Kodash. With that, pay your tithes. Shalom.